That's right. Counting backwards from 5, 4, 3, 2, and... All right, everyone. If it's Tuesday, that could mean only one thing. And that one thing is that I took a nap and I woke up much too close to the show time to start. So hopefully this show goes pretty well. Actually, I think it's going to go very well. We've got 10 awesome comic book covers to show you. And you, as aspiring, established, pro leveling up comic book creators, should look at these covers and think about, oh, how does this cover relate to the work that I'm doing? And how can I make an even more awesome cover than I've already planned? And speaking of awesome, there's only one person that I want to bring on when I say awesome, and that is my co-host, my good friend, 3-time Emmy Award-winning television writer, Mike the Knife Fasolo. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, bud. I appreciate it.
Mike, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, we come up with the idea for these shows about a day in advance, sometimes even less, but this one is a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a day in advance would be really, really stretching it. Usually it's like 5 minutes in advance.
5 minutes in advance, sometimes less. And I got some good stuff planned for you. We have a pop-on guest. We're going to give a shout out to one of our listeners. And then we're going to ask people to tell us what their favorite covers are. So I'm hoping that the people that are in the audience watching right now, Mike, they're ready to share their best ideas. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they should share all of their ideas.
Let me pull this up. Let me share my screen, Mike. And as we do that, we'll pretend that this slide deck wasn't pulled together just 10 minutes ago. By the way, Mike, what do you think of my graphics? I do all my own graphics. Do you like them?
I think that they are pretty spectacular because I don't think I'd be able to put this together.
And it really doesn't matter what either of us think. It's all we've got. So... You know, thank goodness that the comic book school design team came up with a template, and then it makes it easy for me. So I just
pictures in.
Yeah, I just dropped the pictures in. But
nice.
Yeah. So I come up with the show ideas. But so Mike, we're gonna be talking about 10 awesome covers, not the greatest covers of all time, and potentially, Mike, if people like this, we could do other covers in the future. You know,
we could do the top 20 awesome covers.
Yeah. So today we're going to just go through awesome covers, not the greatest covers of all time, not the most iconic covers of all time, just covers, Mike, that should grab the attention of the reader and make them want to buy it. And the reason I know is because I have purchased many of these very comic books just because of the cover.
Are these from your own collection, or did you just
actually some of them are from my own collection, or I would like to have in my collection, but most of them I have in my collection. And I'd like to get your thoughts on why this cover or that cover is particularly awesome. What do you think?
I think it's good. And this cover right here that's on the screen now is fantastic. I love it.
No, that's not one of the covers. That's not one of the covers, Mr. Silly. Hold on. So what's good tell us I can say anything from Fear Agent, One Against One, or Out of Step arcs were gold, and covers by Tony Moore. So I'm familiar with Fear Agent and the Tony Moore covers. In fact, I have a variant edition of a Tony Moore Fear Agent cover. I like that one. Make sure you put the issue number, if you have the particular issue number, right there in the chat, because I'd be curious what you guys like and then what we should do. But I'd like to give a shout out to my dear dad. Let me give him hold on, let's give him a round of applause.
Hey,
Mike.
Mr. Scalera.
He had a bit of a rough go. But now he is back at home where he belongs. watching game shows. That is
Yes.
among his favorite things. If you hear this sound, or you know that my dad is watching some sort of game show. So my dad is he's a loyal viewer, and he found himself in the hospital last weekend, and we're super glad to have him back, and so happy that he's watching the show every week. He says we're really good, Mike.
Really?
Well, he says I'm good.
He's got it right then.
No, actually, he did say that you were really good. So
Who's that other guy you're working with?
Yeah, so thank you, Dad, for being my loyal viewer, and thanks for saying that we're really good. And we're just happy to have you watching each week. So everyone, well wishes to my father, Lou. Let's give him one more round of applause, Mike, because this guy deserves a round of applause. Whatever illness he has, he kicked its ass. And incidentally, you see that headboard behind him and that light stand? He made those. He carved those with his own.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, he was a furniture maker.
That stand is wood?
Yeah, it's wood. Yeah.
It looks like it's metal.
It's because he used gold leaf on it, Mike.
Oh, well, there you go.
You should know that. I'm sure your baby bottle was coated in gold leaf. All right, so here we go. So first thing we have is a pop-on guest. Our pop-on guest is somebody who's joined us previously before to cross-promote his new Kickstarter. Mike, please welcome to the show Paul Castiglia. Paul, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me again.
So I ran into Paul at a comic show in New Jersey where we were both hanging out. Paul was selling the comics stuff and told me that he has a Kickstarter, and any guest that has been on the show is welcome to come back and cross-promote something when they have something new. And Paul has a Kickstarter. That was Paul's appearance officially about a year ago, or almost 2 years ago. And Paul, what do you got going on here?
So this is Robot Monster Comics in 3D. The origin of this is that my good friend Bob Furmanek, who is the guy who came up with the 3D film archive that restores classic 3D films, he went and made a restoration of Robot Monster, which is a 1953 cult classic. It's that gorilla-suited guy wearing a diving helmet. And people loved it. I mean, the restoration came out over the summer and has been a huge hit all over, both in physical media and theatrical screenings. It did really well. So Bob came up to me and said, hey, you know how that film starts with a collage of comic book covers? Appropriately enough for this episode. I said, yeah, it's kind of neat, right? Well, what if we just did a Robot Monster comics collection? And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. We could have it be like an anthology with multiple stories, what ifs, what happened before the events in the film, what happened afterwards. So it took a little bit for us to get everybody together and to kind of figure out a strategy for this, but we finally launched it, and it's terrific. You see here two covers, the one on the left, that is the more photorealistic. I put that in quotes because there's no, alien ape monsters running around in real life. But that's painted by Jeff Slemons, who has painted many a comic book cover and many a novel cover. And then on the right, you may recognize the art of Mitch O'Connell. He's a famous pinup artist. He's done tons of work, and he actually has his own Robot Monster pinup that's been very successful for him. So we decided to go out with two variant covers, and it's getting a great response. I'm editing the project. I'm also contributing some scripts, and on the team we have a slew of people. I'm not going to even be able to name them all.
Well, people can go to the URL below, go on Kickstarter. I just went to Google and I put Robot Monster Comics in 3D in the URL, and the Kickstarter came right up. So Kickstarter must index very well. If I had to pick a cover I prefer, I think it's the one on the right. I like that pop art, Mitch O'Connell look. Mike, which cover would you prefer? Because Paul has already agreed to give us a copy each. So which one is your?
I like the one on the left.
You like the one on the left? Okay,
Yeah,
so
that- like
that's set.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There you go.
so
Yeah.
well,
Just to make sure that I get the big points in here. This project is offering Carl Shekel, who's a noted comics historian. He's a teenage comics historian who started doing this when he was 8. He was corresponding with Steve Ditko and interviewing people all over. He's writing his first comics fiction work in this project. We have Howard Buchholz from Mystery Science Theater.
wait, Paul, I don't want to go through the whole thing.
Okay.
It seems like it's going to be a lot. What I want people to do, I want people to go there and look at your Kickstarter, immerse themselves in this 3D world.
All the details are there. All the details are there. I appreciate the fact that you guys allow me to come on and talk about
the cheesy Godzilla video cover energy. So you got 2 votes for the one on the left and only one on the right. Paul, do you have a favorite child?
I can't choose between these two.
You choose? It's easy for me. It's the one on the right. So listen, Paul, congratulations. Keep up the good work. Keep making comics, Paul. You are always welcome to come back. It looks like there's 22 days left, so plenty of time for people to get on board and support your Kickstarter.
You guys are the best. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, Paul. Thank you so much for coming.
Take care now.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. I took the wrong person off. I was like, oh, that doesn't look like Mike at all. So yeah, I'm always happy when one of our guests is available to come and just tell us something new that they're working on. So I'm glad Paul was able to come back. I was glad I bumped out. I've known Paul for now 150 years. Right, hold on.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. Paul, how long do we know each other?
I think it's 157, but
I see. I was exaggerating. There you go. Contradicted on my own show. There you go. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do, Mike. We're going to go through 10 awesome comic book covers, and I'll tell you why I love it and why it's part of my collection. And you tell me if you would buy the book based on this cover. And also feel free to comment on what our students should note about what makes this cover great. Somebody just said, hi.
Hi, Facebook.
I really dragged the eyes out on that one. Hi. How do you say that, Mike? Hi.
Hey, it's one of those.
Hi. All right. So first cover, Mike, by a longtime comic book school educator, Sean Chen. This is for Wolverine 159. To me, there's an infinite number. I'm sure you could count, but to me, there's an infinite number of Wolverine covers out there. This landing to me as one of the greatest. This shows Wolverine and all of his menace, his anger, his fury, his classic costume. Fire doesn't slow him down. He is running toward you and going to get you. Probably one of the greatest Wolverine covers ever.
Now, are these comics in any order or just?
No, it's not a top 10. It's not a countdown. It's just 10 covers I thought were awesome.
I would agree. Yeah, he's got on fire. He's getting bullets shot at him.
And there you go. Thanks again, Paul. It was good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, he's got bullets shooting at him. He's got the claws out. Just the sheer look of determination. Just that look of determination. It comes up as Facebook user LOL LDK. I don't know why it comes up as Facebook user LOL. You can tell me who you are. And it's Arts Mermaid. Oh, there you go. It's Ariel. She's one of our designers for Comic Book School, former intern, now graphic designer. So I'm glad that we have another artist here. So, Mike, a winner. Would you buy this comic based on the cover?
I would buy that based on the cover because you want to find out what's going on. What's Wolverine doing? Why is you should keep track. That's one. Okay, number 2. This is a cover by Nick Cardy, famous DC Comics cover artist. Hold on, I see Paul nodding. Paul, nod again for us. There you go. Okay, so Mike, I always think Nick Cardy is one of the truly underrated artists of the Silver and Bronze Age.
There's so much going on here. Number one, it is explaining what's happening. So the bad guys are saying, don't worry, Aquaman, the tide will be up in about an hour. And then he says, go ahead, Mike, read the line.
But if I don't have water, I'll die in 2 minutes.
Right.
See, so,
what I love is I love the visual symmetry of this, how he points it up to the corner, how it's going to be Aquaman because the comic cover says Aquaman, but he still cranes the neck of Aquaman so extreme to show that Aquaman's really straining, and the terror on his face, the light sourcing, the colors. This comic I had to buy, and it's an actual photograph of my actual comic. You can see the staples on the side. What do you think?
Well, how old were you when you bought this comic?
I was like 40. No, actually, I didn't. No, that's not true. I bought it in my 30s.
See, I would be like, I probably wouldn't buy this one. I mean, it's well done. It looks nice, but I wouldn't want to read the book just based on the cover. Because I'd be like, he's not going to die in 2 minutes.
Paul, would you buy this?
Yeah, I mean, he's a fish out of water, and he's almost done for.
Oh, see, Mike, he had a Catilla agrees, and this guy could talk to fish too. So cool. It's true. Why doesn't he ask the fish to help him?
But I mean, he's 2 inches from the water, and the tide is coming.
You think he could just stick his tongue out and get the water?
But I mean, why is he going to die in 2 minutes?
I don't know. I got to just tell you, to me, part of this is the graphic design and the colors. I just feel like there was so much happening here. There's so much depth. You have, this massive, extreme foreground, mid-ground, background, and extreme background. I think it's got everything.
Well, it's like I said, it's well done, but it wouldn't prompt me to buy the comic.
All right. So, but I like the perspective on the shot, shows urgency. I agree. See, I think Arts Mermaid, who is an artist, I like her take on it. So we're 2 covers. You would have bought only one of those covers.
Mm-hmm, true.
Right. Counting down. This is Jim Steranko, King Size Special #1. So a little story behind this. When I was growing up in New Jersey, there was a comic shop at the Bergen Mall in Paramus, New Jersey, and next door to it was what we would today call a marijuana dispensary, called a head shop. And I would, not look at the head shop because I was a kid. I knew I wasn't allowed to, but they had this comic cover or a copy of it in the front door. And I promised myself I would one day own this cover, and I do indeed own this particular cover. There was something about the Hulk being crushed by his own name that made me, I had to have it. Mike, what do you think?
I would definitely buy this. I definitely want to. I mean, I know he's not in the comic being crushed by his own name, but he's definitely being crushed probably by a mountain or something the Inhumans did to him. And you'd have to find out what's going on. Why is he like this? And look at how much struggle is in his face. You got to know.
A note on that face. We're going to have a note on that face in 1 second because there's a little bit of a story behind that. What also makes this cover, I think, Mike, is this gradient of yellow to orange to red to purple to white to green, with the juxtaposition of the Hulk in green and purple. There is just so much richness to the color of this. I will say this is one of the more expensive comic books I do own in my collection. I don't know what the mint value of it is, but I'm fairly certain it's pretty. Mine is a very low grade because I just bought it to get it. I got to be honest with you, I never read the comic. I actually did not read. Hold on. I didn't read this either.
Well, I mean, that one I understand.
I just bought it for the cover because the cover was so good.
That's it. So if you could have just walked in there and ripped the cover off, you would have been happy.
I would have been just as happy. So I did buy this. Worth noting, and I see some comments in here. This is everything about the Hulk. I agree. It is everything you want to know about the Hulk. So a little bit of comic historian lore. Take it with a grain of salt. We're not fact checkers here, but when Jim Steranko originally drew this, you could see the Hulk's face is slightly different. Let's go back to the one there. It's a little softened by artist Marie Severin, who they felt like the face of the Hulk was a little too scary. And that was A. And then B, supposedly, according to Steranko, he was in the car. I don't know why he was shaving in the back of a taxi. He had the art out, dripped blood on it. It needed to be redrawn anyway. They didn't think it was good. Supposedly, Marie Severin redrew the face, but it is certainly a different face than the final, which I just thought was kind of interesting to show the original that Steranko drew. I don't see where the blood is. If there's any truth to this story, I don't know why the blood isn't on the original art. But
sounds like a lie.
Yeah, it sounds like a white lie of some sort. But I'm gonna I'm gonna have Paul come back. Paul, you're a bit of a historian. How much truth is there to this story? Do you think there's really blood dripped on this?
Are they saying the blood was dripped on the pencils or the inks?
Over the I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, because when I was on staff at Archie, we used to take safety photocopies of all the pencils just in case, something happened to the original pages. If they got lost in the mail or destroyed, the dog
got blood
ripped
dripped
them up or peed on them or something. And that way the inker could actually light box the Xeroxes of the pencils.
You see, he didn't answer the question. Did he really think there was blood on it?
No, I'm just saying.
Question.
I don't know.
It's just support his Kickstarter, everybody. Support his Kickstarter, everybody. Giant robots. Okay, so Arts Mermaid, Ariel says, this reminds me, buddy, I have to show you pics of my soon-to-be uncle-in-law's comic lair. Yeah.
We like lairs.
So apparently, I think she's getting married soon. So what I think that means, my soon-to-be uncle-in-law's comic lair, that is his man cave.
Yeah.
Of sorts. Anyway, the one on the right apparently was from one of the, FOOM, maybe, Friends of Old Marvel magazine. Do you have a preference, Mike? Do you think the original face is better, the scarier face, or the friendlier face?
I like the friendlier face better.
Yeah, me too.
Just because it's colored, so it pops out more, but yeah. I like the look of it better. All
right, so let's move on to the next. He says, if there was blood, they could have had a Red Hulk in the store. Oh, look at that. From the green room, literally, Paul Castiglia. He's a wealth of knowledge. I love this cover. This is not Fantastic Four. It's 4, number 5. So a series about the Fantastic Four, a different take. But this cover by Steve McNiven really, to me, illustrated Sue Richards' powers, or Susan Storm's powers, and just stopping the bullets midstream. And I think it adds to it because of the wind in her hair, the determination and look on her face. I had to own this. I love this cover. What do you think, Mike?
I think it's okay. I mean, this is one that I might pick up just because I would want to see what's going on with all the bullets and why she's only one of the Fantastic Four there. Yeah, I might buy it.
Okay. Would you have bought the Hulk issue? So
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2 you wouldn't have, 3
2 I would buy, and 1 I wouldn't. No.
What about 4? Would you buy this?
I would probably buy this. So 3
you would buy this?
Yeah.
All right. I agree. I bought it. Her arm almost looks compressed. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, right? The pressure of stopping bullets with your mind, as Ariel sometimes does. With her mind. Yeah. All right. I just want to show you this. I was able to find a copy of this without the graphics on it. I think it's even better without the graphics, don't you?
No, I like it better with the graphics.
Do you? It gives you context. You know who it is then?
Yeah.
All right. All right. This one is a classic cover by Russ Heath. I am not a war comic person. I mean, as I've gotten older, I'll read some. I just always thought that this cover had so much action in it. Here you have a pilot in a dogfight. Plane is going down. All he's got left is a pistol. This guy's shooting at him. I just looked at this as like, I would love to see how this ends. I do own this cover. I did buy it. I'm not sure if I read it.
I'm not understanding why you see these covers and you have to own them, and then you don't read the comics inside. That's kind of the whole point.
Oh, look at Paul nodding from the back. Oh, look. Oh, see the judgment. Everybody's judging me, even from the green rooms. Needs more silhouette for me. Oh, that was Sue Storm. And then Keanu seems to do with no problems. Keanu seems to do with no. Oh, sorry.
That was bullets. Oh, Neo.
Yes. The bullets. There you go. Neo. That's right. So you're right. But okay. So putting that aside, I just feel like the visual storytelling on this, the smoke trail shows part of the story. Your eye is drawn to this in like what they would call the Fibonacci circle. Spiral. And your eye lands here on this moment of danger and bravery that just encapsulates everything that this pilot is. What do you think? Would you buy this?
I think exactly what you said is true. And that's why I would have bought the comic and read it and said, I got to know what happens to this guy. I wouldn't just buy it and put it on a shelf and be like, that's a great cover.
I sometimes just buy the book for its cover. I hope a few people buy Paul's Kickstarter just for the cover. Maybe they'll buy 2 copies, one for each cover. Maybe they'll buy 2, one for each cover. Paul's always happy. He's a happy guy. All right. This is a variation on a theme. Ramita had done like quite a few different variations on this theme. He's had quite a few. I just thought that these were 2 of my favorites. Especially during this time period. It was a very depressing and dark time for Spider-Man. And I did read and buy and read these issues because to me, I did want to know in issue 50, like what happened? Like, why is Spider-Man no more? And then this one, who's on the floor? Why is Spider-Man so upset? Like, to me, Spider-Man not flying through the sky says a lot. Like, he is just walking and he's walking away. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, who died in the one on the left? Do you know?
I think it might be Gwen Stacy's father,
the cop.
Yeah. So good parallels. Let's add to the parallels. Green knockout type. Both are back to back. I just think that, and Ramita did this quite a bit in this run of Spider-Man, but I did think that these were 2 standout books. I bought them both. Would you buy these, Mike?
I would definitely buy both of these. I like the one on the right better because it's no more Spider-Man. You're like, what's going on? What happened to poor Pete?
Right. So as a kid looking at this, you're like, what's going on? I have to know. I think 75, the one on the left, is more illustrative because for a kid to go like, oh my God, Spider-Man's crying. What's going on? The one on the right, you have to know that is Peter Parker, who is also Spider-Man, right? Yeah. There's a little bit of assumption that you would know who that is. So from a storytelling perspective, both very effective. So where are we now? We're at number 6. How many of these would you have bought, Mike? Only one that you wouldn't have bought? The Aquaman?
Yeah. So far.
All right. So I do own all of these. Of course, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago. I had to look it up. It was Ron Wilson. The Lair is Spider-Man comics everywhere. Okay. I guess she's talking about her uncle. Bob Layton, who was a guest on our show when we were in Morocco, Mike, has said that he had inked this cover. I had to look it up, and sure enough, he did ink the cover. I didn't know that, but this is a Ron Wilson cover. We did do an episode on this, just showing the sheer power of the Hulk and the sheer power of iconic storytelling. There's not a lot on this panel. There's not a lot on this cover. All you see is one limb of the Hulk, and you know what's happening.
This is another one I definitely would have bought. I mean, look at that. He's fighting the Hulk.
Yeah.
And he's
by the way,
it's Cap. Cap can't beat the Hulk, can he?
And look at the way he's just getting crushed into the wall, and he is just hanging on there. And I got to just tell you, story holds up. See, now that is an impact shot. Okay.
Did you read this one?
I did. And then Paul from the great, read Paul, because let's just pull him on real quick. Let's just say this guy. Go ahead, Mike.
There are so many classic Spidey.
Actually, let's let Paul do it. Paul, read your own comment.
I'm going to read my own copy. Oh, wow. I got to look over at the other monitor here. There are so many classic Spidey covers. Death of Gwen Stacy and Death of Green Goblin covers. I bought when they came out. I was a little kid. Those still hold their power. Sorry for the spoilers.
No. Paul had a follow-up.
And I said something about it was 40 to 42 years ago. So, sorry.
So, yeah. It's rare that we could actually pull somebody out of the audience and actually have them come on to the show. We should do that more often, Mike. I wonder if we could pull people from the audience.
Everybody should just be on, and you can randomly select someone to pull out.
I think you should. By the way, Mike, when you watched Magic Garden when you were a kid, I bet they said your name all the time.
They did, yes.
They were like, and I see Mike. No one ever was like, oh, I see Buddy.
Well, that's true.
No one ever said, I see Buddy. I'm like,
how come no one ever sees me?
No one ever sees me. And I'd be like this. Like, and then they had
Sherlock. Mike, and I'd wave and be all happy. Yay.
Sherlock the squirrel and the Chuckle Patch.
Yeah, I love the Chuckle Patch. They were my favorite.
Chuckle Patch. So, okay. So I think we're getting a little off track there, although that's probably.
Segue.
So, wait, so you would buy this? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good issue. This to me summarized everything in one shot about Batman's origin. Once again, you need to know Batman's origin, but I guess by this point, 404 issues into it, if you don't know who Batman is at this point, there's probably no point. But I thought this was an amazingly effective cover, both in color, design, composition, just the sheer sadness of young Bruce Wayne there on his knees. To me, the father gripping the mother, just tremendous.
This is another good one. But if I was drawing this, if I could actually draw, I would have made the bat in the background connect more to Bruce's shadow. Connect more to Bruce, so you know that he becomes Batman.
Yeah, maybe we could go back and redo this issue. We
can redraw it ourselves.
From like 1986. 1987. So I don't know how old were you. It's a good year for you. This is a tremendous cover and the kickoff of what would be one of the greatest storylines ever. And there you go, classic Batman scene. Agreed. Replicated in the movies, recreated over and over in the comic books. But as a cover, when I saw this, I knew exactly what it was. I read Batman Year One and just thought I had to have this, and I'm glad I do. It is true. It truly stands up to the cover. Oh, and Arts Mermaid, an artist, agrees, foreshadowing the Bat Shadow.
Yeah.
There you go, Mike. You think as an artist.
I have an artist somewhere in me.
You do have an artist in you somewhere, and there's a joke we will just let go. All right, so 7 of 8. Number 9, another Bat-related cover, another sad cover. Todd McFarlane, early in his career, coming up as an artist, did Batman Year 2. Not quite as good of a story, but his covers are truly iconic. And while there are several iconic covers that he did for this run alone, I happen to think that this is the best one. What do you think, Mike?
This one I wouldn't have bought.
You would not have bought.
No, I mean,
tell me why.
And is that like the real Batman? It's not some alternate reality Thomas Wayne or somebody?
Reminds me of the split-second Vader shot on. And okay, it's talking about the Batman logo. This is another one where you could have. I don't know. I just think that this. Look at me crossing my arms. I'm like, I don't know. I love it.
This is what I think. I'm like,
well, I'm gonna have Paul make a tiebreaker. Paul, buy or not buy?
I'm a not buy on this one.
Yeah.
You gotta send him back to this. When I have the button.
You don't agree with Buddy? You get the button.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Why not buy, Mike?
Because it's very dramatic. Very dramatic. It's overly dramatic, I would say.
Melodramatic.
It's Maureen and Charles Wayne, I think. Is that what it says?
Martha
and
both of our mother's name is Martha.
Yeah.
Martha.
Yeah.
Martha and Thomas Wayne.
Nah, I don't care. Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm going to ask the audience. Audience, would you have bought this? Because I feel like this was a win. Anyway, McFarlane.
Batman doesn't have a gun.
Exactly. Why does Batman have a gun?
Why is he shooting his parents' grave?
He's not shooting his parents' grave. He is clearly he's upset.
Did you read this?
You know, this is McFarlane, you know, coming into his own, drawing the cape as just all this elaborate. It's just the body language. McFarlane could do brilliant covers. I just feel like this one fits in his in the top. So let's go to number 10. This one to me works because I want to know how they got Catwoman. This is an Adam Hughes cover. To me, what makes it work is the running eye makeup, the stone hard look that she is determined she will get out of this. Adam Hughes, well known for his beautiful women drawings, tough, strong women. I just think that this was perhaps one of the greatest covers in his Catwoman run. What do you think, Mike?
Interesting. No, I wouldn't have bought this one either.
Okay, I'm going to clock out Headache and Cranky Puppy. Awesome covers, buddy. Thank you. And then he said, oh, hold on. Let's see. The color scheme. Read that one for me, Mike.
The color scheme on that McFarlane Detective Batman is throwing me, but I give them points for doing something different.
Okay. All right. There we go. So what do you think? This was a buy for me. I did want to know what the story was, and it was good.
No, this is one of those I wouldn't buy either. I'm just like, it's Catwoman in a police lineup.
So I got 8 out of 10 that you would have bought. All of these are pretty much in my collection. This one you would have passed on.
I would have passed. I would have seen it and went, and just kept looking.
I should note that most of these comics, let's just say these comics were not inexpensive. Let's say each one of them was a minimum $20 purchase.
Really?
I think next time I'm just saying, like, we should put a number against it next time. Would you spend $20 on this, or would you have paid cover price, which was at the time $2.50? So,
I wouldn't have paid for either of them. No. $20 or $2.50.
All right, Mike. So what do you think so far? What does everybody think of our 10 awesome covers? What do you think, Mike? Do we learn anything about these covers? What I learned is number one, great layouts also require great coloring. I think the coloring, forcing that juxtaposition of light and dark, of really contrasting and complementary colors, incredibly important to catching the eye. That was my first observation. Mike, what about you?
You go deep into looking at these covers for the contrast and stuff. I just be like, Captain America's being punched by the Hulk. That's it. That's all I need. I gotta find out what's going on.
Number 2, I feel like it's all in the eyes. I feel like there's so much from the first Wolverine, that face, to the Catwoman, the eyes. I feel like so much of me wanting to buy this will be related to the eye language that we see in this. You know, we don't see Spider-Man's eyes. We see his hand and his face. I feel like those are the kinds of elements that draw me in. Do you notice when you're looking in their eyes, right? Does that draw you in?
No.
See, there's the eyes. There's the eyes. There's the eyes. To me,
you're much more of a visual getting sucked into the whole cover. I'm just looking at, like, Hulk is being crushed. I want to know the story.
If you had to pick a favorite from tonight, Mike, what's your favorite from tonight?
I would go with the Hulk one.
There's 2 Hulks.
There's
one Captain America. This
Hulk
one?
I really like that one. The Hulk being crushed. That's a great cover.
What about this Hulk, or I feel like I'm at the optometrist. This better or
2?
Or 2.
1 or 2.
This or this.
Of the group, those are my 2 favorite, but I would go with the Hulk being crushed one.
Yeah, I have to tell you. Well, before I decide, I'm going to pull Castiglia out of the green room and ask him which his favorite is. Paul, which is your favorite?
Spidey. Oh boy, to choose between those two. Spider-Man No More is just iconic.
Number 50. No,
they're
not
actually,
iconic.
They're very close. They're very close.
If you had to spend your money, and you could only buy one comic of the ones that we had tonight, what comic would it be?
Oh, that's Spider-Man right there, number 50. Spider-Man
number 50. Yeah. All right. We'll put him back in the room. Hold on. This is Gatilla. Go ahead, Mike. Read it out.
It's funny, but I can't help but reminded of what David Lynch said in his cameo in The Fabelmans. If the action is low, it's interesting. If it's high, it's interesting. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
If it's in the middle, it's boring. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I mean,
Well, no, I mean, because
every one of these,
if you look at
every one of these, the action's in the middle.
No. That's like high action right there. Wolverine's coming charging at the camera. The low action is Spidey walking away. That's very low action.
Oh, okay. You at the Aquaman. Okay.
Yeah, see that one?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm hard pressed, Mike, but I think if I had to select one, it's this Hulk issue. I mean, this was a personal holy grail of mine. If I can only select one, it's gonna be that one. Gatilla says he would choose the Russ Heath war cover. Pretty unbelievable war cover. By the way, somebody had done an homage cover to it. A couple people have done homage covers. I think one day we should do just a series on homage covers. Don't you think?
Oh, that'd be pretty neat.
That'd be pretty good. So, Mike, I did promise you 10, but I also, Mike, I love to surprise and delight. And before we lose, we want to ask people what are their favorite covers. Be sure to let us know in the comments. Please make sure you like and comment and subscribe to the show. We're getting a lot of new subscribers, a whole bunch of people. It's more fun when there's more people in the audience. We're always happy to see you. Thanks for coming, Glenn. Thank you, Paul, for joining us. We hope your Kickstarter rocks it. We love having you come on, Arts Mermaid. And, of course, thank you to my dad who joins us loyally every week to watch on Facebook. But, Mike, I did want to say, should we do this again?
We absolutely should do this again. We should. Well, I don't have my comics out here, so I couldn't rank like my favorites of mine. But
well, why not? You just Google. You just go like, what are and then you go like, oh, that's Sabretooth. Oh,
yeah. Well, perhaps.
All right. When you're coming back out?
Oh, geez. Who knows? I'd have to get on a plane and do stuff. Nobody likes doing that, bud.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's just say I have a bonus cover that is just I don't know why I like this cover. To me, this cover speaks to me. Mike, what do you think? Do you like this cover?
I think that cover is hilarious. Not a cover that I would buy.
The Rifle Man. That is more than a rifle, Mike. That is more like the Cannon Man.
It's perfectly placed. It's very, very not a cover that they would allow on comics today. I don't think.
Do you think they caught this when they were doing the production and ran it anyway, or do you?
I didn't even catch it until you guys just started joking about it.
Paul wouldn't have caught it if Archie Comics were coming out with this. Paul would have been like, oh, "This is a good one. Let me write a press release on this one."
That kid's really.
Like, would you have known that this feels like something that Wizard would have done?
Yeah, that's true.
This is like a Mad Magazine parody. So, there's something about this cover never gets old, Mike.
I don't
own this, but I hope to own a copy one day.
You should resin that and put it on your wall somewhere.
That is, and what do their expressions say, Mike? What's going on with their expressions?
Well, they are both very happy. Very happy what's happening.
Young lad wants to grow up to be the Rifleman, and the Rifleman is awful proud of who he is. So anyway,
good old days.
Thank you. Thanks for a great show, Paul. Thanks for coming.
Great fun.
Paul, make sure, just like everyone else, make sure to tweet this out, like and comment on the video, and like, comment, and subscribe. And as we say in every show, Mike, do all the things. If you're making comics, make the comics. Do all the things, and we will see you next Tuesday where we will do all the things. Good night, everybody.